Mr. Samuel, why do you love fueling your brother's gambling addiction?
Hold on. First of all, I don't necessarily like fuel it. What happens is that he comes to me because I have a particular knowledge concerning the NFL and football in general, and he's like, "Do you think that this is a good one?" And sometimes he listens, and sometimes he goes with his gut feeling. His gut feeling has won him more money than what my knowledge like puts him on. Like I usually give my opinion on it, but sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes I get bets I'm saying, "Hey, don't bet on this game because it's a really bad game to get bet on." And he bets on it anyway, or sometimes he'll stay away from it. Like I just like the like I just think that it's not me fueling it, right? I didn't light this fire in him. It's a fire that started by somebody else. I'm not gonna say
I
who,
I know that's
but
You
someone
can say it.
else.
You can say it.
I
Like
know
it's
that's
not a big
no,
someone
deal. I
else.
no, it's kind of like lately it's been weighing on me that I've gotten a lot of my friends into gambling. At first, I'm like, oh, it'll be fun, But I feel like some of them have gone a little bit too far, and I've told them like you need to relax. But whatever.
I
my
think we're here to
goodness,
talk
man.
about our number one team in the league, Mr. 5-2, with 932 points scored so far. 91% playoff champs. Don't screw it up, Samuel. But you are currently the number one team in our league. How does that feel? I always hate that question that Sports
I
Center's
don't
people
want to.
say.
I don't want to say it feels good, but considering how last year went on both leagues, it felt like I call it a Mickey Mouse year for myself because my heart really wasn't in it because that year the Dolphins really did seem like they were gonna go all the way, and I was just forget fantasy. I just think the Dolphins are it this year. And last year there were a couple of games where I just forgot to switch my lineups. There were games where I just didn't feel the need to necessarily do anything on either league, which is why I think last year was such a bad year. But how it feels this year, it feels great. It feels great being on top, man, and it helps when it really does help. You have two elite running backs doing what they
Oh
do
my.
and being elite, right? Like Derrick Henry and Saquon. I remember there were a lot of questions concerning those two players, and I believed in them when nobody else did, surprisingly enough. And
That is
and here
you
they
can
are
you
on my
can't say
team.
that, but
No, no, literally
On my
I
yes.
don't
team
mean
That
to.
this
was
I
the
don't mean to
conversation
interrupt you.
pre-draft.
I don't mean to
No.
interrupt him, but you cannot say like, okay, well, Saquon, you drafted him like what, like 11th pick, whatever, 11th overall.
Yeah,
Like,
Saquon's first
okay, you're
round.
not
That's
gonna
fine.
draft him top five, but you can't say no one believed in him when he went 11th like pick. And then Derrick Henry, I remember you snagged him right before I was about to pick him because I knew like he's having a great, like, no one expected this year from him. I'm not gonna lie, he's having an MVP year, like, season. But I kind of expected like something, like I knew he was gonna play well. He's just always been so consistent. I knew in this system he would just be able to flourish.
Yeah, it's
So
just
No, I stand by what I said. I don't think anybody really did believe in him, but
no one
okay.
did
I
except for
do think
Samuel.
I do think I do think that I will say this. I had a feeling that like Lamar was gonna open everything up for that offense, and Derrick Henry was. I mean, if any running back is gonna succeed in that system, if every single running back that has succeeded in that system, like, I mean, we don't hear about him a lot. Now we have Derrick Henry, throw him in there, like. It's like the Niners. Like Jordan Mason is second in the league in rushing right now, and has been a fantasy savior for some because of how bad they picked out running backs. They picked them up in the waiver wire, and their season is saved right now. But much like if you add Christian McCaffrey to the Niners, if you add Derrick Henry to the Ravens, you're gonna get magic. And Saquon Barkley was a no brainer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I mean Saquon is still. Has he even gotten a second contract yet? Like he's still what, like 26 years old, 27?
He's in his second right now. I think the
Okay.
Eagles gave him
Oh,
that
that's right.
second
That's right. I'm
contract.
sorry. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
So,
right. I
and it
thought he was
makes
still
sense
like,
because
yeah.
the Eagles in general are just trying to compete this year,
Yeah.
and it's like you have the
Yeah,
roster to
they
compete. What
they've had the pieces like together for a while. It just doesn't go deep enough, like for some reason, whatever happens. But now finally they have that dual threat offense that they could just run like whenever they want.
I mean, I don't like Hurts, but That's a
I'm
whole
not a big
different
fan of Hurts
topic.
either.
That's a whole different topic. You know, we can talk about that another day.
I don't respect him either, but I do think that if you lead a team to a Super Bowl the way he led a team to a Super Bowl, I think there's respect that needs to be like given a little bit. Even though he did have one of the best rosters assembled in the NFL that year they went to the Super Bowl. So
Yeah. No, yeah,
see, maybe
exactly.
this year's different for the Philly. Who knows?
Yeah,
It's
because
weird. That Philly team is just weird, honestly. Like I don't know if they'll even
Just the
are
coaching
they
isn't
even
there.
yeah,
The
like
oh
coaching,
yeah,
Sirianni.
the
they really
coaching.
have
I
a
don't know.
fan coaching. Have
Yeah,
a fan
no.
coaching. It's the funniest thing.
That guy, yeah, no, I don't like him at all as a coach. Um, let's see.
Well, I was gonna say something, Andres.
Go ahead, Johnny. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, go
Because
ahead,
like,
John.
because I as well like ran like a 2 running back strategy. I sort of did buy the hype with Kyron Williams. He hasn't been like 100%, but he's been at least I could say like 90% there. Like he's getting a touchdown like every single game. But one thing I want to ask you about is what was your thinking behind drafting Malik Neighbors? Because I was like, there's a lot of big question marks with Malik, in the Giants, but he's just exploding this year. So
Well, I do think that Brian Dable has a history of building around a talent. Saquon Barkley, he did that when Brian Dable first got there, and Daniel Jones managed to have probably the best year of his career. So I thought, well, he's bringing in a Malik Neighbors who's very explosive out of LSU. They're going to utilize him more than anybody on that team because he's the best weapon, period, on that team. And like I said, Brian Dable knows how to utilize that. And Daniel Jones, he really hasn't been good this year, but if there's one thing he's going to do, he's going to target his wide receiver one. And even though he didn't really have that good of a game this past week, I mean only 8.1 points. Thanks, Malik. You really pulled through for me. I do think that down the line he's going to get more targets. He's going to get those catches more, and he's really been saving my wide receiver core because if you look at it, I mean, when Tua got hurt, Waddle became a non-factor, and then I had to start Tank Dell and Jordan Addison, and those guys are great, but I wouldn't necessarily want them as my flexes or my wide receiver twos. I would much prefer an explosive Jalen Waddle instead. And right now, it's kind of backfired, but thankfully, like Malik Neighbors has pulled through when he's needed to, and then it helps to also have guys like Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry to really carry the load, so to speak.
Are you gonna, let's say Tua starts this week, are you gonna start Waddle? Or are you gonna wait a week or whatever?
Absolutely going to start Waddle.
You're gonna start Waddle.
I think they're going to hit.
All in.
I think they're going to hit their ground running. I think they need to get those two guys going, not just Tyreek Hill. I think Jalen Waddle needs to get going as well. And if Waddle doesn't get going now, then the season's cooked in general for him because there's no point. Like if it's not against it's against the Cardinals. Okay, the Cardinals don't have a daunting secondary that I need to worry about that's going to lock up Jalen Waddle. The only thing that's going to not lock up Jalen Waddle is Mike McDaniel. And if Mike McDaniel can't get Jalen Waddle these open looks, or if the quarterback can't give him these looks when he's open, then I mean, quite simply, I made a bad decision, or maybe not a bad decision, but just luck was not on my side when it came to picking Jalen.
Yeah.
I mean, like McDaniel's play calling has been so bad. I've been getting flashbacks of like Adam Gase. It's really bad. Like second and whatever, like 2nd and 8 or whatever, like 2nd and long, and they just throw screen passes. So frustrating. But
Dolphins.
It's also
so bad.
and this is the film junkie that I am. It's actually not all McDaniel's fault because sometimes these guys are no. Before you get you guys looking at me crazy,
I'm the sports analyst cook. Okay,
let me explain. Like Tyler Huntley has had Tyreek Hill and Waddle open. He has. The problem is just that Tyler Huntley isn't Tua. And Tyler Huntley is not confident in some of the throws that he's going to make. You see it when he hesitates to throw or when he starts to scramble. He's also not a very smart quarterback. You saw it in the very last play that in his very last snap, nothing's open. The play is dead, and then he decides to jump, throw, cross his body with a defender right on him.
Very
He lands on
Mahomey.
his arm. He's out for the. Yeah, very Mahomey.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but
terrible.
also like McDaniel deserves some blame because he's the one that like
Oh, yeah.
went out and got him. He's the one that went out and got him, right? So
Absolutely. He needed a quarterback that fit the system, and I feel like McDaniel has done a really, really bad job of finding some because a backup quarterback is more valuable than ever nowadays. And when you had Joe Flacco on the market sitting there, you had Jameis Winston on the market sitting there, Tyrod Taylor on the market sitting there. I mean, when you had like Mike White,
Russell Wilson, look
Russell
what he's
Wilson,
right.
Justin,
I mean, like he just played one game,
Oh my
but
goodness, yeah.
even though I don't like Justin Fields, I don't think he reads the field very well at all. At the very least, Justin Fields brings a dynamic running the football that's an actual dynamic. Tyler Huntley, it was kind of like a facade. Like, yeah, he can run, but it's not as explosive, and he can escape, but it produces nothing. Justin Fields, it's like he escapes and he produces chunk plays. And if you wanted that, maybe that could have been cool. But the fact of the matter is, like, this offense has just looked terrible. It's the roster in general has just constructed terribly, and the fact that only Tua is the savior for this team, contrary to what Mike McDaniel believes, I guess, because he thinks, oh no, Tua's not the savior. Yes, he is, because the offense sucks. Like I don't know what else to really like. The proof is in the pudding. I don't know.
yeah,
No Guardian Cap. That's what I'm hearing right now.
it's his personal
I don't
choice.
even-
It's his personal choice, you know.
Yeah, but
That's crazy, but whatever.
yeah. So I see this week, Samuel, you are playing Mr. Marco Morales, who was a previous guest last week. You should watch. We are self-plugging right now. You should watch the Marco episode. But, Mr. Samuel, do you have any choice words for Marco before the matchup?
Well, his name is Marco's Magnificence, but he's 2-5. So what's really magnificent about him? I don't know. Like,
My goodness!
There's really nothing significant, magnificent about him. He's starting the Colts defense against the Houston Texans. That's
Fire.
a sit. I don't know what he's doing there, but hey, look. All I gotta say is Marco is a very nice, very worthy competitor. For the most part, I'd say that he has some players that could definitely boom. For sure. Like, I think the best case scenario, I think the best guy who could definitely make something happen is maybe obviously CeeDee Lamb is a threat, right? Stephon Diggs might be a threat, but we saw what happened when a defense gets a hold of Stephon Diggs or anybody. But CJ Stroud is essentially a non-factor. But nobody on this team really like scares me. You know what I mean? Like if I were Marco and I saw the team across and I saw Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley, yeah, sure, I don't exactly have the receivers to really, pound in that like fear. But the fear is going to be pounded every single time anyway because it's Derrick Henry and it's Saquon Barkley. You just look at them and you tremble. And look, like I said, Marco, he's 2-5. He definitely needs a win like this. The pressure's on him. I'm 5-2. Like I don't really like. If I lose this game, I'll be like, okay, I'll be disappointed for sure. But the pressure's really on him because if he goes 2-6, buddy, start studying because it's gonna get rough for you, bro.
Oh my! All right, there we go.
I mean, he does have shake and bake. He does have shake and bake.
Oh my!
I'll
You
give him
big
that.
white
I will
boy
give him
glazer. I
I
haven't made this.
Where's Shake and Bake?
He has him on the bench though. I don't know why, but
Wait, who's he starting?
Shake and Bake. I just realized him. Yeah. Yeah, that doesn't move me. It doesn't. And the reason it doesn't is because
and maybe with Evans and Godwin injured, maybe White will get more reps in.
Oh yeah, true.
Maybe he'll have a big game. You never know. Yeah.
Yo, bring in Cooper Kupp to the Bucks, man.
I do think that the
I'm
Bucks just need a new coach.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, like Marco's a nice guy, but whatever. He's really
Alright.
bad
I
at
know you're a,
fantasy.
I know you're a Baker Mayfield truther, but that brother's cooked. I
He's a
think,
white
man.
boy
What?
laser. That's what he is.
He's great. No, he's
He-
elite. He's a top 10. He's a top
He's
10
elite.
quarterback, but now
I,
without. All right, not like he's
yeah, I
elite,
get you.
but his team is hurt, and now it's like I wouldn't be surprised if his production fell off a cliff because he doesn't have his two wide receivers to save him
Yeah.
anymore. So
Very nice. Well, that smells like about it. So thank you, Mr. Samuel, for joining us. Our number one in our hearts. Thank you.
number one
Oh well,
and number one
I do
forever.
have to
Well,
send
that's
that
like,
to.
yo, yeah, we gotta send it to Kelly. We gotta
Shoot,
send that to
we
Kelly.
gotta send it to Kelly. I am playing
Thank
against
Thank you for
Kelly.
reminding.
Kelly,
Thank you for reminding
Kelly,
me.
Hey,
Thank
Kelly,
you for
by the
reminding me.
Kelly can come over here and take a good look
Oh
at it
my
because by the end of the
god.
season he's gonna need it back. I mean, you never
Oh,
know, man.
dude.
Kelly, brother, if you really want this, you better win this year, bro,
Oh
because
my
it's
word.
at my house, and I might not be the champ, but I'm holding this baby hostage.
I
That's
can't
for
have
sure.
Samoa winning this year. I cannot. I
Mr.
can't.
Kelly.
Why
I'm
not?
sorry.
And this week I'm in your
I
way.
literally lost last year. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be happy that I won. You know, this is the
No,
only time
I like
Steph
my
has
team. My
actually on
team's
a
been
yearly
getting some
basis.
momentum. You know, we're all healthy again. I like my team. I think we're gonna
Alright.
make a push.
Oh yeah,
sure
you have
you
to change your team name.
Fuck
Your
on that.
thing's not in
I know.
here.
I guess.
Alright.
I know. I do have to switch it.
We're done here.
That's true.
9/11. George Bush. Ah!